Alright guys, hello and welcome to the Vally of Shadows Paranormal Podcast. Alright, today we got Kat here again with our buddy Zach. They're gonna go ahead and give us some more experiences that they've encountered, past encounters, recent encounters, all kinds of encounters. Alright, so you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
I'm Kat.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Matt. And I'm Fat. So let's get this started. I guess where did we leave off on the last one? About your dad and the horse.
Oh yeah, my dad and my uncle.
Yes.
Yeah, when they were
some
teenagers.
kicked it off your.
Yeah. Okay, so my dad and my uncle, they were high school. Yeah, high school.
Oh, high school. I thought this was when they were like adults.
No, my dad was like 17, and my uncle was 16, 15, somewhere there. And my dad was in band and my uncle was in football. So when they would have practices, it was usually around the same time. Because he was in like marching band.
Your dad?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
I know it's weird, right?
Yeah.
He played the saxophone.
Oh,
But yeah, they would cut through what La Jolla back then was all monte, you know, trees, grass, tall grass and stuff. And to get faster to their house, they would go through there because my grandma's house was the only one there at the time. And their high school, which is now, I think, like a police place, like for inmates and stuff, like a jail. That was their high school.
Oh, wow.
Then. Yeah, I know.
We'll repurpose this as a prison.
Yeah, it was called Nellie Jr. High or something. But
never heard of her.
They're walking home, and my dad, thinking he's the only one that could hear it, starts to hear horse, hooves hitting the ground, running at them. And he turned around and saw it coming at them, but he saw a man on the horse. But he said that the man looked kind of like translucent, And so he starts running, and my uncle runs after him. I guess it was instinct to follow his lead or something.
It's like he's running for a reason.
And my dad jumps my grandma's fence, and he turns around to see if my uncle jumped over too, but he didn't. He was trying, so he was like hanging onto the fence trying to get over it. Because my dad's tall, but my uncle is a little bit shorter than my dad, so my dad was able to like jump over, but my uncle couldn't. So my dad had to reach over to grab him and pull him. And my uncle told my dad, like, what the heck was that? Like, did you see that? Or was it just me? And my dad's like, you saw it? Or did you just hear it? He's like, I heard it first, and when I saw you turn around, I turned around. And I saw a man on a horse coming at us really fast. Which is why when you started running, I started running. So they both were like, you know what, let's look over the fence and see if it's still there. And they did, but there was nothing there. So that's why my dad believes me when I say, like, I could see this, I could hear that, because he's witnessed stuff before. So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, you want to go ahead and tell one of your stories here?
Okay, so my first encounter of the paranormal, I was in high school. I was playing a video game. Let's leave. And I was getting into it. The next thing you know, there is a flash on the screen, and a face appeared through the monitor. It threw me off, and I had to stop because I've been playing the game for almost 2 to 3 hours.
Yikes!
Yeah.
What game was it?
Well, I mean, he said he was in high school, so.
Mm-hmm.
What game was it?
Blitz the League, the OG one.
Oh.
And what it was, so once I stopped playing for a little bit after that, I wanted to get something to drink. When I looked over to the side, because in my house, I have my kitchen, I have a living room, and another room that leads to my bedroom at the time. And I saw what looked like a white silhouette. Yes, a white silhouette. Or a white silhouette. And look over, peer left to right, and then disappear back. I was scared. I didn't know what it was. So I was slowly creeping into the refrigerator to get something to drink. So when I opened the door, I opened it super slow, and I didn't want to close the real fast like I normally do. So when I opened it, I'm like, please don't be there, please don't be there, don't make sure there's nothing there. So I closed it, I looked, it was gone. And this apparition that I saw was pale white, kind of like my dad. My dad is like white, tan colored, and that's what it seemed like I saw. And ever since that day, it just a lot of paranormal stuff have happened to me from there on forth. Another incident. I was out of high school already. Well, getting out of high school was my senior year of high school. So I had my first encounter when I was a sophomore. Then my second encounter at the end of my high school year. So I was my friends were chilling. We were watching videos, and my friend said, "Hey, let's go to the back," because the back of my yard is 5 acres, or 10 acres actually. And so when we went back there. Yeah, we went back there and there was a lot of trees, kind of like almost a monte with trees, mesquites and all that in there. So me and my friend went back there. We're all chilling, laughing, but we didn't go any lower because one, it was like super dark, and if we climbed down, we might slip and hurt ourselves because all we had was a small little flashlight at the time. So one of our friends who thought he was a tracking expert was looking at, this right here is a cougar den, which it's not true because we don't have cougars out there. We're still within the city, but either way, it's still boony style.
I don't think we have cougars around here.
I think the most we have is like coyotes.
I saw a sign that said "Beware of lynx." That's all I've seen.
The small little cute ones.
I didn't even know we had
coyotes,
those.
I call them.
It's like, when did those get here?
And so what happened was that someone started screaming. At the time, I didn't know who it was. I didn't find out who it was till the following day. But there was a screaming, and like a high-pitched screaming, and me and my friends were like, "Whoa, what was that?" One of my friends, who was a plus-size person, I didn't think I would see him run as fast as I thought he would. But like halfway, once I turned around, he was already at the end of the 5 acres that around the corners to go back to the house. And me and my 2 other friends followed right behind him. I was tripping out on how fast this dude was running. I didn't expect him to run that fast. So next thing you know, as we wrapped around the corner, the scream went off again, and my friend took off flying. He made it halfway past the acres and waited for us for a little bit. My dumbass, sorry for my language, misstepped and fell inside a hole that was in the corner of the fence. I fell in there, and while my friend goes like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna pick him up if he's falling down. I'm just gonna leave him there." My other friend decided, like, "No, we can't pick him up. We gotta go." So when we took off, they started seeing a white shadow walking by.
A white shadow.
Oh, not a white shadow, a white apparition. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Walking by. Walking by. Well, I mean, that would be like ectoplasm and all that kind of activity.
Sure.
It's true. It's true.
I don't know. I just hear the stories and I go with the flow.
And well, they started seeing that, hey, there's a woman in white walking around back there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had the flashlight, and I flashed in the direction where they saw the spirit, and I'm just like, I don't see nothing. They got mad at me and told me to turn off my light. So when I turned off the light, the apparition appeared a lot more closer, and then the screaming continued.
Oh my god.
So when we again, our friend was already at the door of my house. We were right behind him. Didn't expect him to run that fast. And they started telling me, "Oh, did you see that ghost? Did you see this? Did you see that?" I'm like, I didn't see anything. So I'm not too sure what they were talking about. Next thing you know, the following day comes around, and my uncle tells me, "Hey, so were you and your friends outside in the back?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, my cousin's friends were screaming like girls to scare us because they saw us walking around back there." At that time, that answers the question of the screaming part. But that white apparition that they saw has no answer, no nothing. We don't know what that was. And actually, recently, during New Year's, I had gone to the back where they said they saw the spirit, but I saw nothing at all.
Nothing to this day?
Nothing.
Didn't feel nothing there either.
Mm-mm. Didn't smell anything?
No, only thing I smelled was goat poop.
Ghosts don't smell.
I don't know. I've heard sometimes you can smell something, but it's mostly with demons.
It'll be demons. Like if you can smell like rotten eggs
or sulfur.
Yeah.
Or like Skittles.
Or like something burning. Like if you smell like a smoke smell. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what that
I've heard that before.
Now, like how you say they saw white, that could be like a good spirit that was just wandering around. Because usually, if you see white, it's not really a bad thing.
I saw green once. I'm just
kidding.
It was a dinosaur.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, well, I know you guys have both experienced
the sleep paralysis. Oh my god. Yeah. Alright, can we talk about a recent one and then we can see his past one? Because this happened, what was it, like, well, now it's 2 days ago.
Yeah, last week.
2 days ago.
There it is.
Okay, so, like, we had already talked about Zach's, but, you know, no, we're rehashing. But, okay, so that night I went home, you know, we were all here, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And Eric went to work because it was a Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday. And I had just gotten done talking to you about your show because you guys were about to get on or whatever.
Oh, okay, so it was that night I was there.
Yeah, it was Friday. And I'm in bed. And my little sister had just freaked me out earlier because we were playing Mario Party and she said that she saw something. So that was freaking me out, being the person that I am. Like, I felt like what she was telling me was true. You know what I mean?
So it was the day when you texted me that you were bored at the house?
Yeah.
Mario Park? Okay.
Yeah, so we're playing the game. She sees that. And this girl, knowing that I can pick up on, like, those kinds of feelings and stuff. And I'm the kind of person that I can, like, I feel empathy, like, strongly. You know what I mean? So her being scared, I was getting scared.
Times 10.
You know what I mean? Yes. Well, times more than 10.
Times a billion.
She goes on and demonstrates what she saw. Like, why would you do that to me? That's just gonna freak me out more. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
So we finished our game. I locked the door. I was trying to convince her to stay with me until I fell asleep. She didn't want to. So I was like, you know what? I'll put on a movie. So on Peacock, if you click on a section of movies that says like collection, what it'll do is it'll play movie after movie until it's done, and then it'll start over by the first movie again. So I figured, you know what, I'll watch Shrek because there's only 2 of them. So I put the first one on. Halfway through the movie, I fall asleep. And instead of falling asleep facing my door like I normally do, I fell asleep the other way, facing my wall. So I fall asleep, and in my dream, which I didn't think was a dream because it felt so real, our door, it sticks, so when you open it you can hear that someone's coming in because it'll do like kind of like a pop sound.
Yeah, you're like
yeah, you also hear that creak,
like a peeling.
And in my dream I wake up because it was real to me. Like I was asleep in my dream and I woke up because I heard my door open. So I wake up and it's my little sister. She walks into my room, goes all the way to the foot of my bed and just stands there looking at me. So in my dream I go, Amber, nothing. And I go, Amber, and then on our restroom is like right where my wall is in my room. So in the restroom I hear, what? I'm in the restroom. And my head was facing that way, you know? So in my dream, I look back to where she's at in my room.
Whoa.
And she smiles at me all evil. Mm-hmm. She's about to grab my foot. And I wake up. But the thing is, because she didn't get to grab my leg or my foot, my lower half of my body could move. But from the waist up, I couldn't. So my neck and everything was facing like where our restroom is at. And I hear growling. Like whoa, intense growling. And my eyes, I could move my eyes, right? So I moved my eyes to where I heard the growling. My dog, she sleeps in bed with us, right? I know a lot of people think that's weird, but she was asleep with us.
No,
there's a lot of people that are like, oh, your dog sleeps with you, gross, you know? But anyway, she sleeps with me, and I'm able to like stare at her, and she's staring at the foot of my bed. Her legs are like pressed into my cushion, and her hairs are standing up like crazy, and she's growling like intensely at that spot where my sister was in my dream. So I closed my eyes and I'm like, you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. And when I opened my eyes, because I could see that way, I just couldn't move my neck. And I look, and she just turned into like a black mist.
Whoa.
And I was just like I'm even getting chills just remembering it.
I bet.
And I was like, okay. And the mist went away. So I was like, maybe I can move now. So I tried to move my neck and I still couldn't. And then I closed my eyes and again I heard the growling, but this time it was like twice as loud. And when I looked at my dog, because I could still move my eyes, she was looking up at my ceiling. And for some reason, that was when I was able to move my neck. And so I moved my neck and I looked up to my ceiling, and there was a big black mass above me. And like I tell you, I'm atheist, so I don't pray, but I closed my eyes and I started talking to my grandma who passed away, who was like me. So I closed my eyes and I'm like, Grandma, if you're there, like if heaven's real, like you're really there, like please come to me, like help me, like I'm scared, like I don't feel right, like just please. And after I said that and I opened my eyes, it went away and I was able to move, like my top half, because I was kicking my legs like crazy trying to like get my body to move, but it wouldn't. It wasn't until I did that it went away. And then my dog, she like calmed down, curled back into herself and fell asleep. So I was just like, oh my God. So that day I did not sleep at all. That's why yesterday I was like sick. I was tired and sick. But yeah it was terrible.
Except for that guy.
Huh?
You and Eric are the only ones that didn't get sick yesterday.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I have an iron stomach.
Yeah, this guy's Iron Man over here.
I wish.
But the thing is, you called out to your grandma, but why your grandma? You could have called out to anyone.
Because she was like me.
So you felt like
so I felt
maybe
like she would
could help in some way?
Yeah, because like, I mean, I know I've got my grandpa and then my grandpa that died before any of us were born. And I have like my friend Kevin and my friend Esteban and stuff like that have passed in my life, right? But she's the one that I felt like would be able to help me. You know what I mean?
She would understand the situation.
Yeah. And like I said, like I don't pray or nothing, and I guess that is kind of like praying. But I was just trying to call on her like spirit to like come and rescue me essentially. So it's just
apparently
like,
it worked.
Scared. It was scary.
Happened.
But like when I was finally able to move, like there's this perfume, and it's gonna make me want to cry, but there's this perfume of hers that she always wore to like quinceañeras, parties, like to go out and eat, like whatever the chance she had to like put it on, she would. And when she died, I took it, and I have it in our living room on a shelf that I have there with some of her stuff. And when I was finally able to move and stuff, I could smell it. I could smell her perfume, but there would be no way for it to be there because it was in a different room.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
I guess like I honestly haven't ever experienced, like I said in the last video, anything paranormal except for that one weird whisper thing. But for some reason I will pick up on a smell, and then sometimes it is like a perfume.
Yeah.
But there's no girl around me. I could be in the back of a warehouse at my job, and I smell a perfume, a beautiful perfume. Like wow,
like roses, like
it
flowers.
Smells so good. Like I don't know what it is. And then I'm just like,
it's your girlfriend.
And then I'm just looking around, yeah, probably, bro. And I'm like, I'm trying to follow it, but it's only strong in a certain area. I'm just like, and that happens randomly. I can remember now, like at Target, it happened to me once, and it was like I was like in the collectible section. There's no girls there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like I was just like, whoa. I mean, I could be wrong, but
well, my grandma that passed, that was like me. She said that when you smell that, it's because your guardian angel is following you around.
Something just always like a sweet smell that smells so pretty. I can smell it every now and then.
Yeah.
It would just happen. But yeah.
It was intense. And I haven't had sleep paralysis since I was like 16.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And you can elaborate on those older ones if you want. Unless, Zach, you want to go?
All right.
You can if you want.
I know.
Give Kat a little break here. It's your turn.
So, still in the category of spirit paralyzation and all that. Yes, we were talking before about this. The thing is that for me, my sleep paralysis didn't start until I was up there in San Antonio. So that's when it first started.
Man, what happened to you in San Antonio?
Dude, I don't even know.
Someone cursed you or something.
Something happened, and then you came down here, and it just kept
followed
going.
me. It followed me. I don't know who or what I did or who I got mad at me. Who knows witchcraft? But half of my people that I know don't even dabble in the whole paranormal stuff. Just me. And maybe my friend up there in San Antonio as well. She also likes that too. Actually, she's one of the ones that wants to go investigate the San Antonio Asylum. The haunted San Antonio Asylum.
Nope.
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 You would freak out.
Not hospitals, because if I've been in one before that was abandoned with one of my uncles. I kid you not, I was on the verge of passing out just walking in.
It's just so intense.
Yes.
Especially someone like you.
Yeah.
You just overwhelmed. It's
but
like
anyway.
Overload. It's super overload.
So my next encounters happened. My sleep paralysis didn't kick in until maybe a year that I was up there. So I happened to be, because I'm nocturnal. Now I had to change that. But yeah, since I was nocturnal, I'll stay up to 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So I had a friend up north, and we would video chat every once in a while. It was chill. But one night I was there, just finished watching the Three Stooges skit on TV and finished talking to her. And when I raised my head, I just had a lamp right on where my laptop is and where I'm at, and I just see this dark silhouette. Okay. And I know there was something blocking the light that was coming through the curtain, because I still have I had a little crack where light was able to shine through. And I saw this silhouette, clear as day, and it looked like a woman in period clothing, Victorian era and all that. So at that point, I was like, nope, it's already past my bedtime. I stayed up too late. I'm just going to go to sleep.
I'm losing it.
Yeah, so when I got to my room, I was laying down, relaxing, and I woke up in the middle, woke up for a little bit, and I thought I saw an image of a person staring at me, with a head tilt and looking at me, but it was just standing there. But I didn't make no sense of it. So when I woke up, I felt, once I woke up, I saw that it was just my fan that was playing tricks on me. So that scared the crud. Yeah, it scared the crud out of me, I'll say that much. And a couple of months later, I had a friend move in with me. And again, I had to stay up late watching TV or watching some videos on YouTube or on my computer. I turned it off, went to go lay down. At the time, my friend had told me that his family was going to come visit him and all that. So I'm like, okay, cool. But as I was going to sleep, I look over to him. He wakes up, he gets up, looks me in the eyes with his look at me with his eyes closed and everything, saying that they're here, kind of like the classic poltergeist thing.
Oh, like the little girl.
Yes.
Oh.
Exact. Select manner.
Like tone.
Yes. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. Tone. The exact tone. Everything. I'm just like, yeah. I'm just gonna go to sleep now. Turn the other way, and close my eyes. Another incident happened. I was telling one of my friends up there about it, and she was like, "Oh, okay." Well, she had stayed the night with me one night. She was when I was telling the story, she finally told me after so long. She goes, "You know what? That night I stayed there, I saw someone looking at me from your restroom." I'm just like, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, I saw someone looking at me from the restroom." Like, oh, that is a first that I've heard of this happening to anybody. Yeah. And I was just like, ooh. But she didn't feel threatened by it or anything. She was just caught off guard with it. She saw someone standing there looking at her. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, okay. a year passed after that. I moved to my new apartment. Same location. Well, not same location, but new apartment, a little down the road. And that's when the sleep paralysis started kicking in. I don't know where it came from or why it started happening to me. One day, I was up all night again. Most of my stories take place because I stay up all night. Again, like I said, I'm nocturnal. When I was up there in Sun Terrace, so I was nocturnal. I'll stay up to 2, 3 in the morning, then finally go to sleep. But there was one time I was going to my room, and there's a game called Emily Wants to Play. And one of the dolls that's there is a clown. So as I was getting ready to go to bed, I heard the voice of the clown go, oh, 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 oh.
Oh my god.
That's creepy.
That still gives me chills hearing you say it again.
And I was just like, nope, I'm out here. And I went to go lay down, and it started tripping me out because this is the sleep paralysis kicked in. I was laying down on my bed and I was looking around, but I didn't seem to wake up. I thought I had woken up, but I wasn't, so I couldn't move my body or anything, could yell. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And then at the same time, I heard a growl to the far right of me, which is why I sleep with pillows on the side of me if I'm not against the wall, or if I'm in the middle of the bed of a bedroom. I make sure to have pillows on both sides of me. But if I'm have my bed up against the wall, I make sure I have just pillows on the left side of me, depending on which way the wall I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I feel more comfortable like that. It feels like my little fort, and the only entrance they have is my feet. So if anything happens to me, I'll be able to see them straight, and see if anything's gonna come after me. And this apartment that I lived in, it was creepy because the fact that the gate to the room was also to the apartment also was right in front of my bedroom. So and it wasn't a regular sliding door or anything, or even a window. Oh, let me rephrase that. It wasn't like a window or a wall. It was a sliding door. So I was more on edge that someone could walk in at any given time, and I don't know, something bad could happen to me.
Yeah.
Then after that incident, I was in the same location, but I moved to a different apartment. The thing is that it was my time was up there in San Antonio, and I had to come back to be with my parents. They needed my help down here. So, like the last 3 months, well, actually the last month the last month I was living up there, I had fallen asleep, and then I woke up. The thing is, my whole apartment or my bed felt like it was gonna fall on top of me, or it looked like it was falling on top of me because it was like curved and everything. Really? So it looked like it was following me. So I was tripping out like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I just had my lamp right next to me, and I don't remember having it. Now that I think back at it, I don't even remember having it on at all. I know the only light that I had in the room was a radio I had. I never turned on my lamp unless I'm laying there in bed minding my business or doing something.
Yeah.
But other than that, I always turn off the light, and I always have the light on the radio on. So you just see the lighting right here on the left side of me, next to my bed. And then I was there losing my mind, felt my bed caving in on me and everything. But then I looked to the entrance of my bedroom, because it was like my bedroom. Then right across of it was a bathroom. The next to it was a walk-in closet. And then the main room where the kitchen and the living room are together. Yeah. And what I saw, or I think I saw, was this this dark apparition just standing there looking at me. I was yelling out, "Help, help," but nothing was coming out. It was just mostly my body. I barely could move my body, and I couldn't scream. So I woke up, but it still felt like I was in a dream. I was looking around, and then I woke up again. Finally, like my actual bedroom. I was looking around like, what the heck is going on, or what just happened? And I'm just like, damn, I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm going to be leaving here soon. I don't have to worry too much about it. I mean, I was still scared a little bit.
So you thought.
Yeah, so I thought. Fast forward, now I moved out to the valley with my family and all that. I was there chilling, having fun, but out of nowhere, I woke up. But I didn't fully wake up. I just felt like my body was still. And I couldn't move or anything, and I had my back turned against, which is why I started laying down face first on my bed, is because of that incident. Because I was always, once I leaned over to my left shoulder, I was already out like a light. But ever since that day, I've been just laying face first in my bed. So on my left side of my bed, I had the radio going and everything, and I heard them talking. I heard the radio and everything. But on the backside, when I was in this paralysis state, I heard like a foreign language. To me, it sounded Japanese because I couldn't make any sense of it whatsoever. But I could hear it over here in the far off in the back of me. Then I heard my radio, so I had two different voices going from front of me and back of me. Then finally, once that passed, I fell asleep face first. Next thing you know, as I was laying down face first, once I gained control of my body, I heard what sounded like a man laughing in the back of me. Like he was sounding real close, and he was like laughing. And the only sound that I have going on is just my radio.
Yeah.
And everything else is just silence. But that laugh out of nowhere scared the crud out of me. And I was like, oh, this cannot be happening. It can't be happening. I know I left this back in San Antonio. There's no way this followed me back over here or anything. But I heard that laugh, and I'm just like, what was I finally? Then I wake up. I'm just like, what the heck just happened? I had two different things happen to me, and I couldn't move.
One night, yeah.
Yes, I couldn't move at all. So that passed about. I guess I could say when I get these sleep paralyses, it happens like maybe once a year. So once I finally sat in, came relaxed here, or my family started working, everything was good. But one day, I was laying down on my couch, and when I was laying down, I could hear like my mom's voice say, "Zach." Now I'm just like, what? And no response. So hell, nothing. So I fell asleep. About 5 minutes later, I heard a voice, but I woke up, but in a sleep paralysis state. When I woke up from my couch, I see what looks like someone. I thought it was my mom. So I was looking over there. I'm just like, what does my mom want, or something? I was just looking at it, but as it started moving closer and closer to me, it started going from being bipedal to walking on four legs.
Yikes.
The scary part is that her head was looking in my direction, but her arms and legs, kind of like the spider walk from The Exorcist, but the head fully towards me. So when I saw that, I freaked out and I looked down. And I have a dog. He's like super dark, and if he rolls up, everything's covered. So when I looked down, I thought I saw him there. But as I was looking at it, it uncurled itself, and it struck at me like if it was a snake.
Whoa.
So even though my dog Max is that bad, I still that is my dog, and wasn't him at all.
Yeah.
And since that day, I've been tripping out about it. But one final encounter I had. I had a friend come over because she had fallen on hard times, and she needed a place to stay so she could get some sleep and relax. And this is one of the stories that they're asking me to tell in this podcast. The main story, actually, to be clear.
This one's a little crazy.
Yes. So I had a friend stay the night with me, and she was falling on hard times. She was trying to get herself together. I let her stay at my house for one night, and I kind of regretted it, but didn't. Because for me, myself, I'm a very caring person, and I'll help you out with no thing in return. So when she was laying down there, she was laying on the other side of my bedroom, because my bedroom is like both. It's big enough to where I could have a living room and a bedroom in there. So I was sleeping on one end and she was sleeping on the other end. And then in the middle of the night, when I was getting ready to go to sleep, I felt like heavy footprints on my bed. I thought it was one of my dogs walking, but I know they're already asleep laying down with my dad, and it's already real late. I think it was like 2 or 12 o'clock at night when this happened. And I know they're already over there laying down with my dad and all that. So I felt these heavy footprints on my bed, and it kind of woke me up, but not wake me up completely. It was in a state of a sleep paralysis kind of thing.
Here we go.
So when I woke up, and I don't really wear religious stuff on me. I normally wear like a rubber band, and that was the thing that was keeping my soul attached to my body.
Just a rubber band?
Yeah.
Like a plain old rubber band.
It was one of those.
It's kind of like an anchor.
Yes, and you know how in the 2000s the rubber bands that had like a names and all that.
Oh, those kind.
Like the friendship ones.
Yes.
Kinda.
Just like
those.
Anything on it.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I had on, and it hasn't been blessed or anything. It was just on me, and my body just felt attached. Mm-hmm. So once I felt these footprints on my bed, I woke up and I was like, what was that? And then for some reason, I looked up to the top left corner of my bed, and I see this apparition, or I don't know what it was. Nice. I'm just like, what the heck is that? And I thought my friend, because it looked exactly like her. So when I grabbed her, she saw that I saw her, but she opened her mouth like she was trying to scream, but nothing was coming out. So when I looked at her, she looked at me. We're just staring. Next thing you know, I fully woke up. My friend was laying down on the couch, and I was laying down on the bed, and I'm just like, what the heck was that? And it was just weird. And it started making me trip out. And other than that, I hadn't really, since that day, I haven't had any of those yet. Hopefully I don't.
Yeah.
Because it really does scare the crud out of me. I'm glad those aren't happening, because then I get what you call dream walking dreams. But that's for a whole another different podcast.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say right now is that sleep paralysis is super bad. It really messes with your head enough to where you think you're mental. I
didn't sleep. Like I said, with mine, I did not sleep after that. Eric came home, fell asleep. We got food with you guys. I hadn't slept at all until we went home last night. Or technically this morning. But, yeah, like when you were telling your story, because of the person I am, I could feel it. And just like how I made you feel when I told you that story that was in the first video.
I got super chills. Like I felt something I never felt before. I was like going into shock or something.
Yeah, I was like shocked that like he even felt anything, because I was like, shut up, like you're lying. And
I always hear stories and I don't feel nothing. I just kind of like giddy, like, oh, this is cool. I'm hearing something that's never happened. But when I
told you, you were just like,
I don't know what it was about that day.
It's because you love me.
It was just so crazy, like, yikes, man.
And the funny part is that I'm religious, but I'm an optimistic person. So I do believe that there's a heaven. I do believe there's a hell. And of course I do believe in purgatory. From the experiences that I had, it's no doubt that it is true. Those places are true.
Yeah, that's the same with me. How I say, like, yeah, I'm atheist and all, right? Like, but because of what I do see and what I do hear and what I feel, like, I know it's out there. It's real. You know what I mean?
So technically, you wouldn't even be considered atheist, because atheists don't believe in nothing, and you have so much experience of something.
It just is confusing for me.
I get it.
I mean, but
you just don't want to accept it.
Well, once we accept it, a lot more crazier stuff happens.
Okay, well, I'll tell you guys this one, because how you wanted to hear about when I was 16. So Alright, another sleep paralysis situation.
This is the sleep paralysis video today.
So
this is what this has become.
So 16, I had just had my appendix removed, and I was in the hospital for about a month and a half recuperating. But because they had to give me stitches to close my wound because it wasn't closing properly, I had to stay out of school for another month. So I was home. This is maybe my 3rd or 4th night home, because of the stitches and everything, because I had to get stitches in 2 different parts of my body because of it. My little sister had moved into the room with me, so I could have someone with me at night. And at the time, my dad and my brother were working in Wyoming in the oil fields, and my older sister and her husband were in South Carolina with his family. So it's just us 2 and my mom. So to help me sleep, because of the pain and because I couldn't take opioids because I was 16, they just gave me regular ibuprofen that doesn't really do anything when you have open wounds. I would stay up all night and watch movies until I would knock out. So it was my little sister's job, because at the time we had a Blu-ray player, but it had VHS. And at the time, the only movies that I had on DVD and Blu-ray were Finding Nemo. And on VHS, I had The Nightmare Before Christmas, which you guys know is my favorite movie of all time. So those were my comfort movies. So her job was play one. Once that was over, play the other. All night. She would do that for me.
So nice.
And my bed, we took the box spring out to just leave the top cushion, because how I had those wounds, I couldn't get out of the bed if it was too tall for me. So I'm asleep, or what I thought was asleep. And I feel someone sit in my bed at my feet. So I wake up, supposedly me. And when I wake up, my little sister is sitting at my feet. And I go, Amber, what's up? Doesn't say anything to me. I go, Amber. And in my dream, I hear my mom say, what do you want from Amber? She's in my room. So I look at it again, and it's about, it pins my legs down, and it's crawling on top of me to get at my top half of my body.
No.
And in my dream, when it got to like my torso, like or my belly area, which is where I had the incisions and the stitches, I actually felt that pain of it being on my body in that area. Like I felt such pain that I thought I was gonna die from the pain. Like it was that intense. And it got closer and closer, and now we were face to face. And it opened its mouth. By it, I mean my sister. Whatever it was.
The sister thing.
And like black smoke was like about to come out. Like I could see it coming out. And before it went into my mouth, I woke up. But when I woke up, it felt like someone was like literally pressing me so hard down into my mattress that I felt the boards on the, on the bed, the boards that are there that hold your mattress up.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
I felt the boards, and I could feel like on my chest, I felt hands holding me down like this, and on my legs, I felt like something was sitting on me. And I was trying to move, and I know my little sister doesn't remember this, so I hope if she sees this video, like it triggers it or not. But she was sitting up on her bed, looking at me as it was happening in real life. And she was hyperventilating, because I'm assuming she could see whatever it was that was on me. And at the time, she was 11. So maybe now she won't remember, but she was just watching as it was happening. And I closed my eyes, and I remember hearing, I got you. But it was like a reassuring, like, I got you.
Like a bad I got you?
No, like a reassuring, like
I got you.
Yeah, it was like that.
Okay, not like I got you.
And the voice was of my friend who passed away when we were in 8th grade. Kevin. He was my best friend, Esteban. Kevin wasn't when we were out of high school. But it was his voice, and he's like, don't worry, I got you, is what I heard. Like, I heard it again, but this time it was, don't worry, I got you. And when I heard that, I felt like I could breathe. Like I let out a like kind of, like I was just like, oh. And when that happened, it was so strange. My little sister just like it was like a robot kind of thing. Like because she was sitting upright. Once I let that exhale, she just like laid back down, rolled over, and fell asleep.
Vampire style.
And I was just like holy crap! Like that was like the last time before this recent one. So it was a long time in between.
It's been years, huh?
Yeah, it was straight up crazy.
And it seems, you said that Amber was 11, right?
Yeah.
The reason why she probably saw it was because of the fact
she was
that
still too young. She was still young enough to be able to see it.
Mm-hmm. But remember, when kids are younger, their minds are more open. They're able to see everything. So
that's what I'm saying. I think she doesn't remember it
she
because
just,
I've kind of talked to her about it once before, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" The only thing that she remembers of that time, and okay, so we're Hispanic, right?
Oh,
we have our little legends and our little like cucuys or whatever.
Yeah, that's what this podcast is about.
You know how there's one called a duende? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
The little.
They're like those little elf things
goblins
that will come and get you if you're unbaptized.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah. Okay. My little sister did not get baptized till she was 12. Because my parents couldn't find her padrinos, you know, the godmother, godfather. They couldn't find one until they settled for my uncle and his wife at the time. But when I was 16, it was when I had the appendicitis. She was 11. She hadn't been baptized yet. And when I was in the hospital, she had stayed at my grandma's house, who lives across the street from us. At the time, my aunt was living with my grandma with her 2 kids. And my aunt had gone to Mexico, and when she came back, she told my grandma how she felt like a duende followed her because she would feel like little feet print walking on her or on her bed, and she would wake up with scratches on her arms, bite marks, stuff like that. But they were always like little bite marks, little scratches. So she thought that she brought one over. So my little sister stayed at their house for a week as I was in the hospital. And when I got out of the hospital, she came back to the house with us. And my little sister was constantly telling us, like, at night I feel like something's like walking on me. Like, I don't know what it is, Mom.
That's crazy.
And my mom was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, it's nothing.
It's just a cat.
So we're both in the room together because, like I told you guys, she was staying with me. And it was like 2:30 in the morning. And I told Amber, do you smell that? And she's like, smell what? And I go, no, really, like, smell the air. Do you smell that? And she's like, it smells like chili. Like, you know how there's the cans of chili and you can make them in the microwave or stove, whatever. It smelled like chili. And we were like, what is Mom doing awake making food? So I told her, help me up so we can go and see what Mom's doing. And she's like, okay. So she helps me up. We go out of the room. Mind you, this room that we're sharing is the room that I told you I had my recent sleep paralysis in. So something's up in that room.
But, it's your whole house, Lady.
Yeah, it's my whole house.
It's your land.
So we get out of the room and go into the kitchen. The lights are all off in the whole house. We go into the kitchen. The microwave starts beeping. You know how it beeps when something's done cooking? We open it. There's a bowl of chili, like, made in the microwave. And the crazy part is, when we opened the door, there was little handprints with the chili on the little glass. Yeah. There was little feet print on the counter and inside the microwave of the chili.
How small is this thing?
They're small. They're like elves. They're like pixies, elves, you know, those little things.
The fae.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. And we were just like, okay, this is our mom messing with us. So we went to her door.
She put on little shoes and started walking around.
Her door was, she would leave it unlocked because how I had the surgery.
Okay.
We went in there. She was dead asleep. Like, she was knocked out. And then we were like, okay, whatever. We blew it off. The next night, we heard...
Wait, what'd you do with the chili?
We just left it there.
Oh.
We didn't eat it. Are you kidding? It was taking a bath in there.
Oh, that's gross.
No, but the next night, this time, we heard like this little evil giggle. And we were still awake. This time it was 3:33 in the morning.
The witching hour.
Yes. So we hear a little giggle. And we think, okay, this is our mom messing with us. Because that night she actually was staying awake. Because she was waiting for my dad to call her from Wyoming. And we hear the little evil laugh. And we're like, it's mom. Whatever. We blew it off. And then all of a sudden, my little sister, like, lets out a scream.
Yeah.
Like painful scream. And I go, what's wrong? And she's like, my back. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, something's wrong with my back. It hurts really bad. And she was wearing this little, like, light pink shirt. And I see a red spot on her shirt. And I'm like, are you bleeding? Did you scratch yourself? And she's like, no. I lift up her shirt. She had a bite mark on her back.
Whoa.
Mind you, she wasn't baptized yet. And they like to attack kids that aren't baptized. And I'm like, what the heck bit you? And she goes, I don't know. So I cleaned it off. I put a Band-Aid on her. And I was like, let's just get ready to sleep, okay? So we lay down, and I'm already passing out. And by this time, we had gone to a doctor to get something for pain because, like, the ibuprofen was just not doing it. So they ended up giving me liquid Tylenol with codeine. So I took the spoonful that you're supposed to take, right? I lay down. I'm finally passing out when I hear the giggle again, the evil giggle. And I turn around, and this time I actually see it. It was on my little sister's back, like about to bite her again, but this time like in a different spot.
What did it look like though?
It was like this like grayish black color, and it didn't have like, you know, typical little elf shoes or nothing. Like, it was barefoot. It had like this weird hat on, and I was just like, this is not real. Like, I mean, I knew I could see things, right? But I was just like, this can't be real. Like, I'm fucking, like, I'm sorry, I'm freaking dreaming or something.
Edit that out.
Yeah, we could take that out. Like, I was like, okay, I have to be dreaming. Like, I just took this pain medicine. It must have kicked in, and I just didn't realize.
What they
you
put
know what
in
I mean?
these drugs.
And like, it's still there, and it looks at me, looks back at my little sister, and bites her on the shoulder, and she wakes up. And that's when I know, like, okay, this is real. Like, I did see this.
You were waiting to see it, huh?
And it just, like, disappeared after that.
I'm surprised you didn't get up and try to fight it off or something.
Well, I mean, I had wounds.
Oh, that's true.
That's right.
I couldn't get up.
I don't know. Sometimes people are just like, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Fight or flight movement.
No, let it bite. It could bite her. I don't care.
I don't know, man.
No, so I told my mom about it the next morning. And that's when they decided, like, we need to baptize her. And they did. And my grandma, the one that had passed, the one that was like me, she came and she, like, blessed my sister and everything with a priest. And we never heard it, never saw it again after that.
That's crazy. I never even knew that was a thing.
Yeah,
That's
a thing.
just because, no, like, that you're not unbaptized.
Yeah.
If a kid's unbaptized, I never heard of that ever. And I've heard a lot of podcasts, but this could be a first.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean,
I've heard of them. Everyone's experienced them. Like, they're mischievous little things.
Yeah, they're little, like...
They're fake.
And if you, like, upset them, good luck, because they'll never leave you alone ever again. Or
see, that's just the Mexican legend.
See, but the thing is, like, it came from Mexico with my aunt and just followed my little sister, because my aunt wasn't like, she was baptized, but I guess it just like traveled with her or something.
You probably just took one for a ride.
And her kids are baptized. My grandma's baptized, but my little sister wasn't. So I guess because it found an unbaptized child, it was like, okay, this is the one. Like, I need to follow this.
Well, I've heard through the world of poor paranormal grapevine that people who are not in God, in Christ, they get it the worst because you have no protection. Mm-hmm. So that's why you get targeted.
Yeah.
You're easy, open target. There's nothing protecting you.
It's crazy.
Unless you do some kind of something.
Unless you're a Wiccan or...
Because you have your own little Wiccan ways of helping you, but it won't get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's like...
It'll attract them, actually.
It's like the problem. It will treat the symptom, but it's not going to treat, like...
the actual, like
problem. The pain.
Yeah.
Like the real problem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with that.
Yeah, so the good thing though was that, like, my sister turned 12 like a month later after my grandma came, and then she got baptized, I think November, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because of that situation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If not, I don't think she would have ever been.
My son's never been baptized.
No?
But then again, he's half white, so I don't know if it counts.
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he is part Irish, it's a little bit more scarier. Or Native American.
Well, my niece, she's part Irish, remember? But she hasn't been baptized yet either.
And she's over there in South Carolina right now.
I know, she's in South Carolina
But
right
he
now.
does believe. He's a believer in Christ. And he knows everything I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he probably just has that protection.
Mm-hmm.
Because he believes in it and all that. Yeah.
And he prays and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he has he's good.
Yeah. That's
Plus
good.
he has his dad. I pray for him every day. So.
Oh.
Look at you being the dad of the year.
No, dad of the.
Hey, these little legends we got though are really crazy.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to do these podcasts because we have so many stories here, stuff
and
like that.
The good thing is like I've experienced some of them. You know what I mean? Like even like La Llorona thing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've never experienced.
You know that apartment that I told you I lived in when I was 12? That's actually next door to where I live now. Well, we lived in the apartment 7, and these were like 2-story apartments. And my older sister was having a party with her friends because it was Halloween. And like I think 2 of her guy friends decided to stay the night with us because 2 of them actually lived in the same apartment complex. They just didn't want to walk home because they were tired from like, you know, being up all night and stuff. And they asked my mom like, "Oh, Miss Balboa, can we just stay?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's okay." So they were all in the living room area. And my older sister and her best friend Bianca, who I see as a sister because I've known her since I was 9, we were all in her room, in my sister's room upstairs. And my older sister was like, "Oh, let's tell scary stories." And it was actually from this book called Legends That Must Not Die or something like that.
Oh.
And that has a lot of our like legends in it.
Yep.
So she was reading them and stuff, and all of a sudden the book flew out of her hands, and she's like, "Which one of you did that?" Because we were like sitting kind of close to each other. And I'm like, "I didn't grab it." And Bianca was like, "Well, I didn't grab it either." She goes, "You guys are messing with me, like stop." And I was like, "No, dude, like I didn't do anything, I swear."
Nope.
And she's like, "Okay." And she was gonna reach for the book, and the pages were like flying, like if someone was like trying to like like someone was flipping through it to get to a story. And sure enough, it lands on the one for La Llorona. And I was just like, okay. And all of a sudden we hear crying, like wailing, like someone in pain. And I'm like, "You got one of your friends to do this, you need to stop." Because I was already aware of like my abilities and stuff, you know. So I was like, "You need to stop, because you know how I am, and if this is for real, like I'm gonna start freaking out."
Oh, man.
And then she's like, I swear. And I go, "No, you need to stop." And she's like, "I swear to you, like, no, we're not messing with you." So we all ran downstairs, the 3 of us, to go and check on her friends. They're all asleep. And it was those 2 guys, their 2 girlfriends, and her gay friend, I'm trying to remember, Albert. His name was Albert. They were all knocked out. And I was like, okay. And we heard it again. But it was closer.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, "Tracy?"
And people wonder why I'm afraid of La Llorona.
Yeah. And I'm like, right now I'm getting like that goosebumpy like feeling just because I'm reliving the memory.
Yeah.
But
that's what I want.
I'm like, "Tracy, please tell me it's not Sylvia or Gloria, who also were at her friend Jaime's apartment, which was 3 apartments away from us. They were staying over there because they actually like walked over there."
Man, y'all live in the same area.
And I'm like, "Please tell me your friends aren't messing with me. Like, this is really scaring me." And she's like, "I swear, like, we're not messing with you." This time we heard it even closer. It was just like, "Ooh," like that. I'm telling you. Like, it's freaking me out just talking about it again. And I'm like, "Tracy." She's like, "I swear. Like, I'm not playing with you. Like, I swear." Like, she was even shaking in her own, like, skin. And so was Bianca.
Intense.
And, like, this time, even closer. And it was wailing. It was going, "Oh." So we thought, okay, maybe it's Mom, because we were alone. my mom had decided to stay with my other grandma, my dad's mom. And she lived across the fence, which is where we live now. So she lives across from me right now. And because my mom's that kind of person, like she likes to scare people.
Mess with you.
She likes to scare people. She's constantly scaring us. And I'm like, Mom, is that you? That was my first mistake.
You responded to it.
I said, Mom, is that you? And again, oh, like that. And I was like, Tracy, I'm getting really scared. Like, please tell me you have like the girl balls enough to like look out the peephole. And she's like, you know what, for you, I'll look. So she looks and she falls backwards, like on her butt, you know?
She faints.
Not faints, but like she fell backwards, like scared. Pushed her. And she's like, dude. And I'm like, don't, please. And she's like, I'm serious. And Bianca's like, oh, you guys are such girls. She opened my door.
That's where she did it wrong.
My front door. Where we would park our cars, there was my mom's van because she had taken a different car to go to my grandma's. And there's a lady in all white, long black hair, and she points at Bianca and wails so loud, like it literally felt like the windows were like vibrating.
What the heck?
And
man?
she just slammed the door, locked it, ran up to my sister's room, slammed the door, locked it, left us downstairs by ourselves. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I'm like, Tracy, we need to hold hands right now and just pray, because at the time, like I was like that. And I go, we need to pray to like Grandpa or just to the universe or something to make it go away. So we're holding hands, and at this, like together, we're like, go away, like you're not welcome here. Please just leave us alone. Like we did nothing to you. Like we're not your children, because you know they say that La Llorona's looking for her kids. And we're just like, please just stop. And when we said that, the wailing stopped completely. And all of a sudden, like the room felt warmer. Like it felt like we could breathe. Like it was so scary.
Was it like really cold?
Yeah, it was.
Before
like it felt like it was just wrong. Like it just felt unsafe.
This is just wrong.
Like it was.
And
it was
that's
so scary.
even though I'm 33 years old, she still scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, and I'm telling
why
you,
Why?
like,
I don't know. It's because on my end, the way my uncle would set me straight, I'll stay at his house because where I live, they lived in the neighborhood across from mine. And how coincidence that there's a dried up pond right behind it. So whenever I was staying the night over there, he always tell me, hey, be careful, La Llorona's over there. So every time, and they'll scare me because I knew about the legend about how she's there looking for their kids and all that. Still to this day, even though I'm 33, I'll still get chills. If anything dealing with La Llorona, or even if I hear the wailing, which brings me back to the story that I was talking about, the one that we saw.
To say that, man.
Exactly, because the lore goes, the lady in La Llorona is just the lady in white. If you dig more and more into her, it's just basically the lady in white. And the lady in white is basically all over, has so many different lores throughout the whole earth.
World, yeah.
So it changes. For us, the lady in white is La Llorona. And actually, one of the episodes of one of my favorite shows, Supernatural, that was the first one that they solved, was the lady in white. Which then they put into detail where it's just La Llorona. Because she had accidentally drowned her kids in the... Well, some say the lore goes that...
So many different stories.
Yes. That she drowned them. She drowned them out of revenge. And all that because of the way her husband was treating her.
Or that they were poor and she couldn't feed them, so she killed them.
I think ours is that one. Where like the husband left with
he
some
left,
other lady,
and she couldn't take care of them,
and
they were starving, and she didn't want to see that,
so she drowned herself.
She took them to the lake, river, an ocean, whatever.
Yeah, and like the movie The Curse La Llorona touch bases on that, but it's that he left her for a younger woman.
Yeah,
or that.
That's ours, I think.
Well, ours is like divided into 4 different
Oh yeah,
swords.
it's like so many different things.
You know, people just.
I don't
like
know, but
to give
that's
their own
another thing. Like how you're saying your uncle scared you with that. That was us too. Like my mom would always tell us like, come into the house at this time because she's gonna get you. You know what I mean?
And that's why they
So
have me
that's why
programmed.
that day, like I thought she was messing with us, or I thought it was my sister and her friends, but it wasn't. Like it was real. We saw
For
it.
crying out loud, Bianca left you on the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, she left us.
Yeah.
It was
I remember that my relatives, aunts, uncles, they would try it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I was stubborn or stupid.
You stubborn, sir.
I didn't.
You're
give a
stubborn.
Damn. I was like, let him come. I'm gonna whoop him.
Yeah, you're stubborn.
Oh, so you were just Michael.
I see where my son gets it now.
Yeah.
I was afraid, but I wasn't afraid. Like I wanted to prove myself. Like
Yeah.
if I can fight it, I will.
No, I
So
was
he's basically
scared.
Dean.
Yeah.
And I would be dumb, and I would go outside by myself in the dark. And
Heck no.
I would go wait to see something. And I'm like,
I mean-
come on, let's go.
Okay, well, I can tell you guys a story that's funny but weird.
Okay.
Oh, you're just making fun of poor Matt. And it's funny and weird.
No, so
That's how you describe me. Funny
What-
and weird.
you know how I told you that whole story of the shadow
That's
that
true.
went to my uncle's property, my uncle that had passed away, right?
And that's why your house is messed up.
So that uncle,
Both of our houses.
how I
know
told
something
you,
will happen over there. We don't know.
well, how I told you guys that he dabbled in like black magic and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So my little sister was maybe 4, I want to say, or 3, because we still lived at my old property, which is where my grandma lives, because we had a house on her property when we were younger. And one day, I think my dad and my grandma were like talking all kinds of smack to him, because everyone treated him pretty badly except for us kids. And
Go on.
he got real mad at them. So what he did, and it's gonna sound ridiculous to you guys, but what he did is he had grabbed this peanut, right? It was like
A peanut.
a good 3 inches big, I guess.
It's a big ass peanut.
And he had carved a face into it with sharp teeth and all that.
Yeah, he must
He,
be good at
I
riddling.
guess he did some kind of spell on it or whatever.
No way.
Threw it over the fence, and my little sister found it. And when she found it, she just started screaming like bloody murder. Like she was screaming, and she was holding it in her hand. And my dad ran to her, or my mom, one of them, to get it out of her hand. And when they got it out of her hand, there was blood in her hand, and there was bite marks.
It was your uncle.
So it had,
He made it.
yeah. So it had bit her and took her blood.
I'm just saying.
That's not good.
And my mom and dad got so scared because they knew it was him. They threw it in the trash, right? And
They should've burned it.
in La Jolla, where we put our trash, is like we put it in the trash can and we leave it on the curb. So it was already on the curb because the trash was coming the next morning. And my dad went and threw it in there. My mom and dad have the habit of where they'll lock the windows, lock the doors so that no one comes in at night. So we had locked everything, went to sleep. When my mom woke up in the morning, it was on her nightstand. And my mom was like, you went and got it back or what? She was telling my dad. He goes, no, I didn't. He went to the trash can because the trash hadn't come yet. And my mom had put it back on her nightstand. So they went in to check, and it was in the trash.
Huh?
And my mom was like, what's going on?
It duplicated.
And again, they heard her scream. My dad stayed outside because my mom's like, watch it, you know, like make sure you can see it. She ran inside, and again, my little sister was holding it in her hand.
Why did she keep grabbing it?
Amber is
I mean,
hard-headed like that.
she was like 3.
Yeah, she was hard-headed.
Maybe it was calling her.
I don't know, maybe.
That more likely, yeah.
And my mom took it away from her, ran to where my dad was. It was a second one. So they assumed that maybe he had gone into our house and left it there before the one he threw over the fence. So they throw them both away. They watch the trash people come and take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's like, okay, it's over. My mom's holding my sister. And
But your
then
sister's smart.
they come back into the house. And my brother goes, hey mom, what's this?
Whoa.
And it was in his hand. And she's like, where did you get that? He goes, it was on the table. And she goes, no, it wasn't. Because I was just in the kitchen before they had gone outside. And there was nothing in the kitchen. But it was on the kitchen table. And he goes, can I eat it? Because, you know, he's a boy.
Yeah.
He goes, it looks cool. Can I eat it? And she's like, no. This time, my dad was like, let's burn it.
That's the way to get rid of it.
So they get this like metal,
not all the time.
Metal pot. Because my mom's like, let's put it in a metal pot so we don't start a fire or nothing. He sprays, you know, the gas that you use to barbecue.
Lighter fluid.
Yeah, the lighter fluid. Lights it.
You forgot to put salt on it.
We see the fire.
Make it taste better.
And it's going, right? And then my dad puts a lid on top to kill the fire. Once he feels like it's done, he opened it. It was still fully intact.
He forgot to salt it.
And that's another thing. He did that the second time.
And then it worked?
It did not work.
They're super safe.
My mom calls her mom, my grandma.
Grandma like, has to come to the rescue again.
She came, sprayed it with holy water, did some kind of like chant or prayer, and my grandma goes, do it again. My dad's like, okay. He sprays it, salts it, lights it on fire. This time it actually like, it turned black until it turned to like ash and then nothing. Like it was just gone.
But what about your uncle? Did you confront?
My dad confronted him, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, it was you. I know it was you. Like, leave my kids alone.
And you wonder why they didn't like it.
And my uncle, like, well, yeah, but we didn't know any of this till we were older. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised. It seems like your family was having a struggle between good, light and dark.
Yeah.
That's everybody.
And,
but,
yeah, so my dad was
more like the religious type of style,
yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, like, he was just practice.
Exactly.
Some people don't practice.
Well, I mean, he had altars and, like...
That's why. He was in practice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and,
light and dark.
Yeah, so they got into it with him, and he's like, you need to leave my kids alone. And after that, that's when we moved into the apartments, which was scary. And then from there, we lived with on my dad's property, that land that my grandpa had left him. We had bought a trailer house and moved over there. Over there, way worse than the apartment. I'm letting you know that.
Well, yeah.
Like my uncle lived in the rancho. Like there was no other houses except for his, and maybe like 3 or 4 other houses. And over there, a lot of crazy stuff would happen to us.
That sounds like a
but
good
that's like another
people.
video. But yeah, that thing, like,
it's gonna be part
it sounds
3.
ridiculous, but I mean, anything that you do stuff like that to can become a freaking totem, token, whatever.
It just becomes whatever you want.
Like, you could be imbued with it.
So, like, this is like the next episode's gonna be dream walking and more ghost stories.
Yeah.
Oh man, I kind of don't set it up to have any kind of theme, but I kind of let you guys
run with it.
The person just go, and I see what the main thing you're talking about, and so then I'll title it that or something.
Yeah, well,
like with you, it was about seeing a lot of dead people, so I put the last one. She sees the dead.
Yeah.
Because it's basically what you were saying the whole video.
Well,
this
I mean, we went to my origins, my early days. This is more like early and recent video.
Yeah, and then for me, I mean,
past.
the past, and then most of the dream walking ones that have been happening
that
recently.
dream walking thing. That's why I told you guys
we'll
that story.
We'll go into dreams, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll officially make that one the dream one.
And
because I got some dreams, you had some. I don't experience anything
like
physical
crazy.
like us,
but my dreams are intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember you were also telling us about the house that since you were talking about your uncle that was practicing it, you're telling me that when they sold the property, one of the kids or someone got hurt, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember telling you that. Yeah, when they were breaking down his house because he had passed away and everything, and my grandma didn't want any of that like bad energy next door to her.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It has to be. Like
I've seen
so many things, and that's the other thing. Like my grandma believes in God and all that, but she's not 100% like, you know what I mean? Like, she's got her issues, is what I mean. So my other grandma, she was more of like, people are people, love is love. That's why when she would bless things and whatnot, it would work. You know what I mean? And I love my other grandma, I do. It's just, it wouldn't work when she would do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if her intentions weren't all 100% pure behind it. You know what I mean?
Or she didn't know what the hell she was doing.
Or that. Like, she probably just didn't know what to do or how to do it.
half-assed it.
But that story, they were breaking down his house. Us, nieces and nephews of his, we're running around the property because we were enjoying like seeing people like break things. I guess we were kids.
It's the best part of life, breaking things.
And as they were breaking it down, a lot of the bricks had like etches of stuff written in black ink and paint and spray and like stuff like that. And I can't remember what cousin it was, but as they were breaking it down, he like the threshold to like the entrance of the house was still up. They hadn't broke that down yet. So he decided to run in there just to like, because we were all playing around on the property. We didn't think nothing of it. We were kids. And I don't know what happened that he like tripped and fell. And he got seriously injured because something like attacked him or something. And a brick also had like fallen on him, but we didn't know where it came from because the threshold was still intact.
So it's like wood or...
It was like a brick. His house was made out of brick, like cement.
Oh, okay.
Like a chunk had fallen and hit him. And he had like a gash on his leg. And because he fell, he had like a cut here. And like, we were just like, what the hell? And because he bled on it, he started getting like things happening to him too.
Okay, now this is a different story.
Yeah, I didn't mention that to you guys, but he is my other uncle's son. So we call him Liquitos, or we call him Junior because his dad is my Tio Licos. He's the one that still lives on the property with his daughter. But it had happened to him, and well, that was his uncle that had passed also. So he ended up, well, he was already living with us because I told you how he had the 3 marks on his back and stuff. Remember I was telling you guys that?
That was the story you're telling us.
Yeah. Well, before my uncle had passed, or no, when he did pass, my cousin stayed in the house with his dad because they had all lived there together. My uncle's other house was like practically in ruins because it was made out of wood and it was really old and falling to pieces. So they had moved in with him before he passed away, and they were still living there when he died. And my cousin ended up wanting to live with us because a priest had gone there to try to bless the place. Mm-hmm. But he told my uncle and my cousin that it was unblessable. Like there was no way to take out the evil that was there.
Oh, there probably is ways, but it's actually like a lot of steps.
Yeah, probably.
Because I've heard.
But he told them like that I can't do anything.
But the
only thing that you guys might do that can bring down the activity is to get rid of the house, like to break it to pieces, get rid of it completely, which they did not, because there's still that slab I told you about. It's still there, just buried under dirt now because it's been years. But
can I touch it?
Don't. But my cousin, he would have nightmares of like demons trying to take him to hell. There was even one nightmare. But I was beating him up though. Where there was one like at the foot of his bed watching him and was telling him, "You're mine. Like, I'm taking you with me."
Is that the guy who bled?
Yeah.
See, yeah.
Yeah, but this stuff happened to him before that. Like, it was already happening to him because he was living in the house.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, that happened.
Cursed by association.
And when he woke up, he had 3 scratches on his chest.
Knocking at the Trinity.
Yeah. And then when that priest had come to bless the house, he told my cousin, all I could do is put a partial blessing on you because it will make it go away, but it'll always follow you. Like, unless you go to church and like, you know, pray and do all this. Baby. Yeah. He's like, it's not gonna go away.
No.
And he goes, and another thing that can help you is if you leave. So my cousin was like, okay. That's when he like begged and pleaded with my dad to take him in, and we did. He started living with us in the apartments that I was talking about earlier. And when he lived there, nothing happened to him, even though we would get activity there. Because, you know, the priest had blessed him and the scratches vanished. And the priest was kind of,
like you said.
Yeah, it was just like temporary kind of thing. But when the priest had blessed him, like the marks disappeared. Like they went away, which was crazy. But like cut 2 months later is when we're breaking down his house, and that happens to my cousin. He bleeds on the cement and everything, and he's like, what the heck happened? And we're like, like, we didn't even see what happened. We just heard you scream and you're on the floor bleeding. And he is like, okay. And we left. We were playing on the street. We were playing, I believe we were playing with a frisbee and stuff. And when we went home that night, my brother and him had gotten in a big disagreement. And my brother was like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with you tonight. I'm sleeping in the hall. So in that apartment, the second story was one bedroom that had a little window that would lead to the roof, and we used to hang out up there all the time as kids.
That was badass.
And then across from that bedroom was my bedroom with my older sister. And in the hallway, there was a closet. And then our upstairs restroom that was just a regular restroom. So my brother's sleeping in the hall. He's got his pillow. Me and my sister are still awake. We were actually listening to the Aqua CD, so we were listening to Barbie Girl and just having conversations. She was telling me about her then boyfriend and stuff. And my cousin starts hearing like a rattle, and it's the closet door that was in the bedroom.
Oh no!
And he's hearing, and he can actually see it shaking. And he thought maybe my brother had snuck in and was trying to scare him. And he goes, my brother, his name is Felipe, like my dad. Mm-hmm. So now, as an adults, we call him Phil. But when we were children, we would call him Felipito. You know, because he was like Felipe Chiquito. And he goes, Felipito, is that you? Like, stop. And then he heard my brother from the hallway say, dude, don't talk to me. I'm trying to sleep. So he was like, uh-oh. Like, what? And then what freaked him out the most was that the door opened, but it was opening it so slow. Ooh. And that door would creak. And the thing is, he didn't hear the creak. Oh. It was just opening very slowly. So he started freaking out because when he paid attention to the knob, he saw a hand with claws. Ooh. Which is what he would see when he lived at my uncle's house.
It followed you.
So he started freaking out, ripped his blanket off his body, jumped off his bed, and when he tried to open the bedroom door, it would not open. He was like, oh, I locked it. Unlocks it. Still won't open for him at all. And he's there pulling and shaking and twisting and nothing's working. And then he said that he heard his mom's voice. His mom had already passed like years ago. And she was a schizophrenic like his dad. So she had died in a hospital. But he said that he heard her the way she sounded when he was a kid. Like normal, like healthy, like good. And when he heard her voice, he was able to open the door. He jumps over my brother and ran into my room. And we're like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, nothing. And we're like, what's wrong? And he goes, the closet door, like it started opening so slowly. It freaked me out. I saw claws, everything. And I couldn't open the door. It was scaring me, this and that. So he told us the story, and my sister like blew it off. She was like, whatever. So he's like, trade rooms with us, please. And that room was like slightly smaller, but by the time I was sleeping in bed with my sister. Why? I don't know. But so we shared a room, so we were a bed, so we were like, whatever, we'll trade with you guys. So we did. But our room was one of those that had two doors that led to the closet. It was a walk-in, but it had two doors, one on each end of the room, like that.
He thought he was safe.
Right. The fear that he felt that first night in that room. He was asleep. My brother was asleep on the floor because he had his bed on the floor. My cousin had a bed that was on like a frame. And he's asleep and he hears, hello? Hello? And then he thought it was me. And he goes, what do you want, cat? And I'm like, oh, it's not me, right? So how am I going to like say anything to him, right? And he heard it again. He's heard, hello? Hello? Can you let me out of here, please? And he was like, he's like, Kathy, stop messing with me, please. Like, I'm trying to sleep. And then he heard boom, boom, boom on the closet door. And he's like, come on, stop. And he heard boom, boom, boom. And he goes, please, like, you're just messing with me because what happened yesterday, like, you need to stop, cat. And then again, boom, boom, boom. And then he I don't know why, he got out of bed to go see. He was reaching for the knob of the closet when he felt someone go like this to his shoulder. And he thought it was my brother. So he said that when he turned around like that he saw a little girl that looked like me be like grabbing onto him with claws, blacked out eyes, and she was like, you're ours. And then she disappeared.
Black-eyed children.
He moved out of our apartment that next morning.
Yeah, I would have done the same.
Same here.
And he started going to church. He ended up joining the Navy, like stuff like that.
Well, I mean, that's
like,
cool and all, but you're gonna go exploring out there more where it's a little bit more scary.
Yeah.
And have more lore.
But I told, like, that scares me for being like who I am and all that. And then him telling us, like, it was you that I saw. So I was just like, what?
So you must have a black-eyed doppelganger.
Right?
Probably just took her form.
Yeah, probably just to scare him, but yeah.
Or put him in a safe place.
But not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had raptor claws. Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah,
that would be the first time I ever heard a case here of a.
But since
that,
I think your uncle did something to him. I
mean, he did a lot in that property, like,
because what usually happens when you make a deal, you have to give up someone you love, someone close to you. So he probably said he did something so he could gain, but he gave your cousin.
Yeah.
So he gave them permission to get your cousin. So that's why he says, and that's why they keep saying you're mine, you're ours.
Yeah.
Because
probably.
He's been offered. He's an offering to them.
But I think because like he started going to church and stuff and like started changing his life, like. I mean, he still drinks, he still parties, whatever, right? But he's a fun person. But I think because of all of that and like joining the Navy or whatever that it was that he was in, helped a lot. Because since that one last time, like he's never seen or heard or felt anything.
You asked him?
Yeah.
Lately?
Not lately, but I had asked him a couple years ago, like not that long ago, because I was already with Eric. So it wasn't that long ago. But I had asked him and he's like, no, like nothing's happened. I haven't seen anything, heard anything, nothing. So I was just like, well, that's good. Like I'm glad. Like,
yeah,
I don't want anyone to feel that.
Yep. You got the blend of the whole thing.
I'm telling you. But I mean, that's the ups and downs of like being able to see and feel and all that. Like how when he was telling his story, like I felt it like if I was there. You know what I mean? When Zach was saying his story. Like
your
I could
uncle,
feel
though,
that.
like it's just like I want to know his backstory. I'm interested in him. Like if you can, like, I don't know if he was like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this. Just like he seems like he is where it starts and where it's gonna finish with him and what he did. Until then, none of this is gonna stop.
Well, I mean, my uncle died when I was in 7th grade.
That's what I'm saying. Though. He left something open.
I mean, like I said, that slab of cement's still there. No one wants to.
That's probably why it's still affecting what it is affecting right now.
Probably, but it's mostly like buried underground already. Like, there's a chunk that you could still kind of see, and it still has the paint of like the color of what his house was, which was I think pink. And it it was like a pinkish peach color.
Oh, pretty pink. Holy crap, there's a lot of darkness in here.
I know, right? It doesn't make sense.
Pretty on the outside, dark on the inside.
For real. But yeah, like there's still this chunk that's like it looks like kind of like a triangle diamond type look, and it's just sticking out of the ground like that.
It's intense.
It's.
I'm pretty sure if you ask your relatives, they can tell you more about your uncle. How he got into it and his life, I guess.
He died from like that thing that happens to your liver when you're an alcoholic.
Alcohol poison?
Yeah.
No,
liver?
Like the cirrhosis or whatever.
Cirrhosis, yeah, the liver.
That's what he died of.
Heavy drinking. It'll kill you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I mean, it's like I told you, like, all that went on with him and stuff, but he was nice to us. I don't know why he targeted my little sister. I really don't know. I don't know if it because she was the last, like, little kid or what.
Well, now that I think, you had said that everyone was treating him
like garbage, except for us kids.
So he thought that he could get revenge by
attacking the littlest.
But it's always the weakest link that they can get to.
Because like in my family, on my dad's side, she's the youngest, except for like the 2 boys, but they weren't born until after he had passed away.
Exactly.
So you know what I mean? She was the last little one.
She was the only weak link available.
And who could?
Yeah.
And knowing if he knew how your family is, with seeing things and all that.
Yeah.
That's probably why he made him a big target.
I don't think he knew about me.
Which is why he attacked your little sister.
You know what I mean? Because if he did, I think he would have gone after me. In all
maybe
honesty.
He knew, but maybe he just...
He'd rather go with the weakest link.
I mean, Amber was like I told you guys, she was like maybe 2-3 years old.
Exactly.
Like,
that's like a ripe age.
She was like so
the
innocent.
more innocent,
yeah,
the better. That's what they want.
And
they
like,
want that pure.
I always tell my mom, I'm like, I just don't understand it, because I had treated him with so much love and respect. Like, I didn't expect for him to like do something like that to us.
Come on, he practices black magic. What do you expect from this guy?
Well, like I said, I didn't know about that until I was like way older. I was told, because my grandma told us. My dad's mom. She was like, "Oh yeah, your deal, like, you know, that's why that thing showed up at your guys' house and never left until your abuelita came." And I'm like, I mean, it's crazy the things that people do to like get back at other people, especially like I said, us kids who never really did anything to him and stuff. Like it's upsetting to think about it.
Well, people, when they practice that stuff, nothing's off limits.
They're not really thinking straight.
Nothing's off limits.
I mean, we found so much stuff. Like
if you've heard the stories I've heard of all these different covens and what they do, part of all this different trafficking going on.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just want what they want.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if it's true or not, but my grandma told us about some of the stuff that they like found in his house. So there was like black candles. There was a necklace that had teeth on it that was made out of hair, and like the threading was hair.
Yeah.
And
all
black magic.
Yeah, and then that like she found dead birds and like a skull of a black cat. And,
oh yeah, cats
like
are like major.
And wings of a bat. And she said that they found...
How did he catch that?
I don't know. That they found an altar in his closet with like the Santa Muerte and like a black Ouija board that was made out of like granite.
So it won't burn easily.
Yeah, so it was just.
But it's funny how they sell the Ouija boards like toys.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is it funny?
Like you think?
You think? What do you think, buddy?
It's funny, dude. They know how dangerous that stuff is.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't really believe that that's real. You know, even though it is.
You know, there's a lot of videos online that show it.
Nothing is a coincidence.
Videos, you're telling videos. There was a video that Amber was showing me, my little sister, and she goes, "You know what? You see things, right?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, right.
You see this?
It ain't fun." She's like, "Everyone's sharing this video on TikTok, and a lot of people are saying like, I see something, and other people are saying like, I don't see anything but a dude walking in a what are those places called? Where the cars are at, like a wreckage yard."
Oh, junkyard.
Yeah, well, yeah, like a junkyard, but this is more for like when it's car crashes and murders and stuff like that. Like
when people die. Pound. The car pound.
Kind of like the car pound, yeah. So there's this video of this guy and his son. And the son goes, "Look, Daddy, who's that?" And supposedly the son saw a lady walking, right? And the dad goes, "Who's who?" And he turns his head and he has like a GoPro because he's recording this bonding moment with his son, like showing him the ropes of like the job and stuff so he could do it in the future as when he's older. Yeah, there you go, the wreckage yard. And the dad's like, "I don't see anything." And a lot of people on TikTok have been like, "Oh, I see a lady in a pink shirt and like a long white skirt or whatever." And
see, it's that if people are doing that much description, it's fake.
And there's a lot of people that are saying that description, right? Mm-hmm. Amber showed me the video, and she's looking at it too, and she's like, I don't see anything. I did.
But did you have this information what she was wearing before?
No.
Or you saw it yourself?
No, she didn't show me the comments until after the video.
Okay.
Because she's like, I don't
wanted to influence.
Yeah, because she told me, she's like, I don't want to show you the comments.
There you go.
Right? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, just watch the video with me. And I'm go, okay. She's showing me the video. And she's like, I don't see anything. The dad doesn't see anything, but the kid does. And Amber's like, do you see anything? And I think we were streaming it to my TV. And I'm like,
I was about to say, don't you?
And I'm like, is that what they're talking about? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I go, right there in that blue car. Like, you can see this lady just like passing, and she like actually.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
She actually goes through the car. Right? There's some people that will see it because you've seen things in the past. And then there's the people like me who will see it like automatically. Don't have to rewatch it to see if you'll see it. You know what I mean? And I go, you mean that? And she's like, I don't see anything. And I go, right there. There's a lady that passes like through the blue car. And she's like, I don't see anything. And then she tells me, well, what is she wearing? And I told her, I'm like, she's wearing like a pink blouse and a white skirt. Why? And then she's like, look at the comments. And I'm like, okay. So I open up the comments. There's one of a lady that runs a paranormal like TikTok where she's like, oh yeah, there's a lady with brown hair wearing a pink shirt with a long white skirt. And I'm like, that's what I saw. And Amber's like, no, you didn't. And I go, I'm serious. And she's like, you've seen the video before. I go, no, I haven't.
You're
like,
barely
you're literally
online.
showing it to me. And she's like, okay. And then I saw another one of another girl who's like, I always thought that the stuff I saw and all that was all in my head, but I see it. And she goes, it's a lady with brown hair, like long brown hair, pink shirt, long white skirt. And so I started liking all of them. And the lady that runs that paranormal one messaged me. Because I explained, like, detail for detail what I saw and what I heard. And I can't find that video no more because I think TikTok flagged it and took it down. Yeah. But she had messaged me. And she's like, hey, I'm so-and-so. Like, where are you from? And I told her, I'm like, I live in Texas, the Valley. We call it the Valley or the Rio Grande. And I'm like, this location, 956, whatever, right? I told her. And she's like...
Don't tell her exactly what it is.
No, I didn't give her my address. But,
might as well.
But I told her all of that. And she goes, are you just saying that you're seeing that because you saw the comments? And I go, no, my little sister showed me the video and didn't show me the comments until after. And she's like, how long have you seen stuff like that or heard stuff like that? She's like, because for me, it happened after I was in a car accident and hit my head. Like, I had a brain injury. And all of a sudden, I could see these things and hear them. And I told her, well, how old were you when that happened? And she's like, I was 14. And I told her, I have been seeing this stuff since I was 6 years old. And she's like, so you were born with this? And I go, yeah. And she goes, and how was that in the beginning? And I told her, I'm like, really scary. I thought that I was crazy.
If she goes missing, we know who picked her up.
You made their own ghost paranormal plan.
But yeah, I told her all that, and she's like, it's so crazy that it could happen. Like, you could be born with it, or it could happen after like an injury.
And that's why we do these podcasts, guys, so we can reach out to other people with similar things, and so we could, communicate. Hopefully, you guys can in the comments.
And you know what? I wish I still had her messages with me, but I had deleted them, and I don't remember why.
I don't know. Why did you delete them?
I don't know.
It's like a good connection.
Or I think it might have been like an old TikTok I had, and then I had made a new one. Yeah.
Or you just didn't.
I had made a new one like through Facebook, like log in through Facebook. But yeah, like she was telling me like, oh, I got in an accident, and I would see that stuff, and at first she thought she was like going nuts, and it just kept happening and happening and happening. So she was like, you know what, this is real. Like, I could really see these things.
And that's why I tell you, this chick that I work with, we'll call her V. I don't know if she wants me to tell her name.
Tell her name, yeah.
So V, she wanted to say, I need to meet you. She wants to meet you.
Yeah.
Because she needs things explained to her. And she has some crazy dreams. She just finally sent me a story. It's like super long. I'll let you guys read it later if you guys want. But
yeah.
That's for another podcast, guys.
Yeah.
I will be telling V's story and others. Maybe she'll send me more because she said She has a million of these.
Send us some if you guys have any.
Yep, I wouldn't mind reading them.
The email should be in the descriptions, so if you guys want,
or leave in the comments your email and we reach out to you guys.
You know, vice versa. So we're around. Where are you gonna be into an hour and 40 minutes? I guess we can.
Wow.
We'll close it up here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Valley of Shadows Paranormal Podcast. This is what it's about, sharing these experiences with you guys from people I know in this area. So if you guys want to know more of this stuff, just continue to subscribe, and keep coming and checking us out. We'll have plenty of stories waiting for you guys. All right. Yep. See you later.
Bye. Laters.